Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of in2Law Academy. My name is Yogesh Lahankar. I am an online educator since last couple of years, and I have also trained more than 2,500 students till now for various examinations including UGC NET. In this particular session, we will be talking about CLAT UG 2025 examination. So Common Law Admission Test for undergraduate level. That's the exam that we are going to talk about. And in this particular session, we will be taking a look at two most important aspect of this examination. First is the syllabus for current affairs, including GK, that is general knowledge. And then the second aspect would be the last 5 years trend analysis for current affairs, right? So 2020 to 2024. These are the question papers that I have consulted, and I have brought this very informative video for you all. Please note that syllabus discussion would be minimal. I will just talk about only a few important points and then move ahead with the trend analysis. So without any further ado, let's get started. When we talk about the syllabus for current affairs, you will have passages. They range anywhere between 6, 7 to 5 to 6 or 7 passages. And each passage would be around 450 words. See, you have 120 questions. You have 120 marks, that is each question carries 1 marks, and the examination for ordinary candidates, those who do not have this PWD concession of 40 minutes, any other ordinary candidates, they will get only 120 minutes, which means reading these passages is a tricky situation. It requires a lot of concentration, and the kind of concentration in which you do not go back again and again and read the passage, right? So I would like to throw open a question over here. If you would like us to have a separate session on how to tackle these questions, especially from current affairs and general knowledge point of view, do let us know in the comment section and we will take care of the same. Yeah, so going ahead, 450 words each, and they will be derived from news, journalistic sources and other non-fiction writing, which means there would be no literature whatsoever. Uh, all of these passages would be based on news, more or less news, or government documents, right? These passages and the questions that are asked on these, anywhere between 4 to 7, they would all test your legal information, your knowledge in legality, like the legal information that you have, and the knowledge discussed in or related to the passage, which means general knowledge, right? So the kind of passages that they would ask are those which are being discussed in the news in the recent past. If you ask me for how many days, I would say anywhere between 12 to 18 months. That is the safe bet, right? Each passage will be followed by a series of questions, as I've told you, and they require you to demonstrate your awareness of various aspects of current affairs and general knowledge. Now, please pay attention. They have chosen their words very carefully. They have said the name of the section is Current Affairs, including General Knowledge. They have not focused only on general knowledge. They have focused more on current affairs, which means most of the passages that you will get would be based on some type of current affair event. And as I said, the safe bet to assume what is current affairs, it is 12 to 18 months from the date of your examination, which means June 2023 onwards. Yeah, that could be a safe bet. But if you would really like to think from the point of view of examination, then I would say even if you prepare for current affairs from August or September 2023, that is also fine, no problem. Contemporary events of significance from India and world, they are tested. Many of the paragraphs are asked from this particular part. Arts and culture, very few paragraphs have or passages have come from this particular section. Historical events of continuing significance, again, few paragraphs have come, few passages have come. But international affairs, that is a very, very important subsection within this section. So international affairs, that is IR, international relations, or contemporary events of significance from India and world. These are the two most important subsections within this section, right? So with that brief introduction about the syllabus, now let's go ahead with the trend analysis. Let's talk about the 2020 question paper for current affairs, including general knowledge. So for year 2020, you had how many passages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Almost each and every passage had 5 questions. Only the last one had 6 questions. And here you can see the syllabus that was in focus, right? Everywhere you can see, almost everywhere you have international relations, right? Apart from that, most of the things also talk about what the governmental policy was. So Atmanirbhar Abhiyan, Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? Otherwise, we can also say that RBI's foreign exchange management strategy. That is also a policy, economic policy, obviously, of the Central Bank of India, right? Apart from that, when we talk about international relations, they are mostly, concerned with our neighbors. But yeah, obviously, you also have Rafale jet purchase, which was actually quite an important topic in 2020, right? From with France, which is not a neighbor to India, right? But then the rest of the two, one is with Nepal, the other one is Indo-Pak, so again a neighbor, right? So here you can see Indo-Pak. And then one important topic that actually can appear once again in 2025 examination, which is going to happen on 1st of December 2024, by the way, is Arab-Israel conflict, because this is a continuously evolving situation. And as you know, they have a specific category called historical event of continuing significance, and this actually fits right into it, right? So that was your trend analysis for 2020. Let's go ahead with the question paper of 2021, and here again you can see most of the topics are from international relations. See, most of these are from international relations, right? So Sino-Indian relationship and line of actual control. Again, China, the kind of relationship that India shares with China is quite important. COVID-19 and India's role in vaccination, wherein, the way India distributed vaccines for various nations, that was stressed upon this particular passage. So establishing India as a medical soft power was actually the central theme, right? Apart from that, UN's this thing F4R, faith for religion, and Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This was also, one of the passages. So this is again a historical event of continuing significance. Especially most of the questions were actually from UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Then one important event from national news, World Water Day, but that was actually focused on Indian take on it, right? So contemporary events of significance from India. While it talks about World Water Day, the focus of the passage was on what India is doing, okay, and it was also discussing climate change. So climate change is also one repetitive subsection, by the way. Bangladesh's 50th Independence Day and Gandhi Peace Prize, that is also important because again a neighboring country is involved. So international relations. Chabhar Port, this is against, this is band of necklace, what a diamond necklace policy of India against string of pearls policy of China, right? I hope I'm giving you the correct name. I think it is the necklace of diamonds policy for that's the policy of India against the string of pearls policy of China, right? So Chabahar port is actually India's counter against the Chinese policy of string of pearls, right? So that was actually in the news at that point of time. It is one of the uh, shortcomings of India's foreign policy in the recent past that we have been losing many friends. In the recent months, we have also lost Canada as a friend, if you know, right? So these are the kind of events that you should be actually looking into. right? Wetlands and Ramsar site, this is again on, conservation and climate change, right? So anything that happens at the global level regarding climate change and conservation of environment, that becomes important, right? Then 2022 analysis. The first passage was based on ISRO and India space program. Again, this is contemporary events of significance from India, right? India's space program is quite important. This can again be asked because we have been launching multiple this thing satellites, right? And launching satellites not only for India but also for other nations at much cheaper rate. So it's quite important. Again, in USA you have SpaceX, which is trying to do the same, but it's a private endeavor. So you should also know about that. APSPA, that is Armed Forces Special Power Act. That was also one of the thing. So this is quite important, especially from disturbed area within India point of view, right? Russia-Ukraine war, obviously. This was one important tragedy, that world got to see immediately after, the pandemic was over, right? Patent and green technology. Now, this was something very unique. This was quite unique. This again could be a part of science and tech, but yeah, this was, in my opinion, this was a very different type of passage that they had asked, right? Uh, as we say, a surprising entry. I would say. Then COVID-19 is quite important, and then this CSR stands for corporate social responsibility. How that was actually being tackled by the government of India during COVID-19 scenario. That was all, this passage was about. The next passage was about drone technology. See, when yeah, I'm giving you these topics, obviously you too can go back and look into these. What my intention is to make you aware that these were the things that were asked, and I would like you to think now what could be asked further on such similar topics. What are other things that are actually very close to this and that are happening since last couple of months, and they have a high chance of appearing in the examination, right? That's the thought that you should have while watching this particular session. India's maritime strategy, again, this is important, especially from the point of view of India establishing herself as a superpower in Asia, right? So these all were the things that were asked in 2022, right? Most of these are contemporary events of significance, either from India or from the world, and then these are also, uh, one of them is actually related to IR as well, that is international relations, India's maritime strategy. Okay, going ahead, 2023. Again, in this particular year, we had lesser number of passages, but each passage had more questions, 7 each, right? So the first one was about presidential elections in India. This is the second time that we have a lady president, right? So Pratibha Devi Patil and now Draupadi Murmu, right? So there were multiple questions on these lines as well. This is again significant event from India, and this also belongs to Indian polity. Okay. AI, that is again very important. This is an emerging field. Whenever I say AI, I think there is one more thing that should come to your mind, and that is cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So these are some of the topics on which you can expect passages in the coming examination, right? So this is again science and tech and contemporary event of significance from the world, right? Then there was one passage on football and the rights of the LGBTQ plus community. The focus was mostly on LGBTQ plus community, but also on the sports. So I would say forget about football for a second and just focus on the category of sports, because we recently had Paris Olympics. India's performance was not as expected in Paris Olympics. You can expect a passage on that. Cryptocurrency, as I said, is one of the this thing, uh, one of the topics that you should be looking into. Okay, so I think the passage was about FTX or FXT. I think that was the uh, trading platform of the cryptocurrency, and it was a fintech which went bankrupt, right? That actually, led to the loss of money for common and retail investors. Okay, so Indian agriculture, that was again one of the topics that was discussed in 2023. So again, in Indian agriculture, this was a surprise entry in my opinion. Indian agriculture was a surprise entry. But then at that point of time, farmers' protests were happening. I think uh, due to that, they also included Indian agriculture in a passage on Indian agriculture. It talked about green revolution, white revolution, and all, right? And lastly, 2024 question paper. Here we had, the one of the historical events, or actually two. So Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's speech in the Constituent Assembly on 25th of November 1949. This actually is one of the best speeches by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and in the human history per se, right? So Lala Lajpat Rai's address to AITUC as the president of AITUC, or I Have a Dream speech, or Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's 15th of August 1947 speech, right? These are, some of the most famous speeches. And one such was asked as a passage, so historical event of continuing significance, right? And Jallianwala Bagh, again, historical events of continuing significance. So all of these are quite important. Israel-Palestine conflict, as I said, this is actually the only topic that has made, its uh, comeback in 2024, and I think there is a strong reason why it would make a comeback in 2025. So this would be the only topic that they would ask three times in the last 6 years. Okay, then Chandrayaan, again, India's space program, this also makes a comeback. India's G20 summit presidency was also one of the topics. So, all of these are important. They actually give you a kind of, overall understanding on the kind of things that are being asked in the current affairs, including GK section. Okay, so I hope this particular session was helpful. Thank you very much, and I will see you once again in yet another informative session. Thank you. My name is Yogesh Lankar. Bye bye.